Okay, everybody, here's my new project. This is a water softener that a coworker of mine was going to throw out, and got him to bring it by the house, and I'm working on it. They had a leak with it, and it's got resin in it. Inside looks pretty good. Had a couple of problems with it. One is, let's see here. You can see for testing purposes, I hooked up a input for a garden hose and then put a water spigot for a garden hose on there. One of the problems I have is that fitting right there, which has to do with refilling the salt brine tank. It's a little 90-degree brass street elbow, pressure elbow. Female one side, male on the other, 1/8 inch. Shouldn't be any hard thing, but it's got a crack in it. The other problem I had is, where did I put it? Here it is. This is the cap, which you can see I'm trying to repair. It's the favorite redneck sport of or art, I guess you should say, of sculpting with JB Weld. What happened is there's a seal that goes inside there, and part of the plastic lip on the outside that holds the seal in place broke free, and the seal tried to come up through the hole. It's a little O-ring. I've got somewhere around here. Misplacing too many things. Yeah, I got like a Harbor Freight O-ring assortment in that little red case there. So I've got O-rings to fit it. So that was causing a leak. The street elbow was causing a leak. This actually goes on top. This is the top. I've got this thing sitting upside down, but this is the top. It goes up in there, and this is the main. This is the cap for the main valve that routes water flow. For doing things like backwashing, rinsing, regeneration cycle, that sort of thing. It's the main valve, and the shaft has got this little piece on it that ties into this gear. As the gear goes through, it'll I'm moving it through, but this stays in one place. The gear goes through, and it'll lift it up and down through that eccentric right there. Controlling the valve. This is a Rainsoft water softener. I'm trying to put as little in it as I can to see if I can get it working. The person who had it, who I got it from, they put in a new water softener. They didn't want to mess with it, and so they went out and spent multi-hundreds of dollars to put in a water softener that, quite frankly, probably isn't as good a quality from what I hear. They bought a store water softener, those all-in-one units that don't have the separate side-by-side tanks, and I don't know. I've heard doing some web searches and stuff on them that they're not supposed to last too terribly long. But this is a Rainsoft. It's supposed to be fairly decent quality, fairly decent brand, and we do have a Rainsoft dealer here. I just don't want to have to go hunt up a bunch of stuff and talk to the dealer. I'm not real sure the dealer's going to want to sell me parts, so I'm going to see what I can do without it. We did, I'm having to put this tube back together so I see the tape on there, but that broke off a while ago by accident while I was handling it, so I'm trying to put it back on. This O-ring right here, I picked up at a bearing supply house, which is the O-ring that goes to the tank. The guy, I kind of know him. He didn't even charge me anything for it. Those pipe fittings, a piece of tubing to use for drain line for when it cycles through, and then somewhere around here, I guess this is all sitting on it. Transformer. It's a 24-volt timer, and it's a 24-volt, 40-volt ampere. And I thought to myself, well, gee, that sounds really familiar. And lo and behold, it is. It is because I knew where to get it. It's same kind of transformer used for control voltages for your air conditioner. So I just went to the local AC supply house, picked one up. It was dead on. It's 24 volt, 40 volt ampere, which is precisely what that says if my phone will focus. Yeah, not really, but I can kind of read it through there, so hopefully you can. And so of course it's, yeah, this is multi-voltage. This will do 208, 240, or 120, depending upon how you wire up the primary. These are the lines for here. The cap just popped off. I'll put them back permanently better later, but these are for 240 or 208 voltages. The black and white is for 120. Nothing a voltmeter won't confirm for you and tell you when you set it up. So hopefully I'll get a water softener out of this. Now this is really redneck, ghetto, whatever you want to call it. So I'm probably not going to live with it like this. I may run it like fixed like this for a while, see what I can get away with. Eventually, if it fails, I'll probably put somebody else's head on top of that tank, like a Fleck or an Auto Troll or something. I found some websites sell kits where you can do it yourself, so I'll probably do somebody else's head that's much more standardized to find parts from. You can only find Rainsoft parts from Rainsoft. They're not rebranded versions of anybody else's. Which, kudos to them. They made their own, but most things when you go to work on them are just rebranded version of somebody else's stuff. Helps find parts easier, which I actually kind of like. So I don't like being locked into only going to one place for parts, because then they kind of have you by the short hairs. Competition's a good thing. But anyways, so the tank's standard, and who cares about the brine tank? It's pretty much simplistic. So I'll throw somebody else's head on there at some point. But I want to get this running, see how well it works, see what kind of life these resins have on them. If they've been taken care of real well. They look to be. They're pretty much intact, but we'll see. Okay, so before I run out of memory card here, I guess I'll end it, and I'll let you guys know how it works out. Thanks.